Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and this is going to be my unboxing of the all-new Futaba 4PX radio system. This is their newest flagship 2.4 gigahertz surface system that's intended for most RC vehicles. Now, if you haven't heard of Futaba, Futaba's been around for a very long time. They were actually founded back in 1948, making all sorts of things outside of the RC industry. And of course, back in 1970, they partnered up with Kyosho, and they came out with the first remote-controlled car that didn't have any wires. So think of that. So they came out with the Dash 1, I believe it was called, through Kyosho, and they used a Futaba radio for it. Now, some other history that you may not know, if you watched the movie Back to the Future with good old Doc and Marty McFly. Doc actually controlled the DeLorean with a Futaba radio. So some cool little fun facts for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. But you know, this is my first Futaba radio. I have had other controllers, other top-end controllers from Spectrum, Airtronics, and want to kind of join the Futaba attack and see what this radio is all about. Now, this radio has a ton of features, and it is definitely not an inexpensive option. This thing at the posting of this video tops out over $500 for everything you see in front of you. Now, unboxings sometimes are not too sexy, but this radio definitely is. I like unboxings because I kind of want to know what comes inside the box. Maybe there's something, a little hidden gem inside there. Maybe it's something that wasn't explained quite right by the manufacturer. But in either case, I will show you exactly what comes in the box. I'm going to also power this thing up to show you what it looks like when it's actually on in a studio kind of setup right here. And we'll kind of go from there. So the first thing is this box is kind of like all black. And it really highlights the colored screen that you see there on the 4PX, and I'm just going to read off some of these things that are listed on here, and a lot of it's kind of Greek to me, but this radio does a ton of things. So, of course, 2.4 gigahertz radio. It is a full telemetry system, so it can read telemetry settings, including temperatures and RPMs and things like that. It is compatible with their FHSS receivers. That's their telemetry system, and then also the FASST, that's their fast system. So pretty cool that it is kind of backward compatible through all of their different receivers. It is an S-Bus 2 receiver, so has some other capabilities and programmability. Switchable for right and left hand use, so you can switch the main steering wheel from either the right side, which it comes set up, or to the left side over there if you happen to be a lefty. It has vibrating alert system for different settings that you may set on there. Has an MC Link and S-Bus Servo Link function. There's a lot of stuff on here. 3.5-inch color TFT LCD screen with backlight. So no time of day would you be without seeing your controller here. So ABS, so your advanced braking system, adjustable trigger and positioning, throttle acceleration, programmable mixing. One cool thing that the Futaba radios do very, very well, and the scalers and the crawlers definitely appreciate, is the four-wheel steer mixing and gyro mixing. So a lot of four-wheel guys like to add four-wheel steer, or even the potential of adding a dig to their crawler. And this radio is definitely acceptable to those things. 40 model memory, 15 character model name, if you have a long name on there. Telemetry speech output. So this thing can actually tell you your telemetry settings as you're driving. So no need to look down. Body function switch, 2-position steering angle, micro SD card slot. God, this thing just goes on and on and on. Quick little model number here for you guys. It is FUTK 4905. There is going to be a link in the video description, so you can take a look at that as well. So let's open this thing up. God, I've been waiting. I've had this for a couple days now, and I wanted to wait for you guys so you guys can check it out with me here at the RCNetwork. So comes with your typical styrofoam box that's inside of this very nicely graphic box, and I think I'm opening it upside down, so I'm feeling a owner's manual on the other side that's kind of peeking. Let's see if I can get this thing out. There we go. Set that off to the side. Well, for your reading pleasure, you get this nice glossy color, at least color on the outside, huge book. And I'm looking right now, this is all in English. So from front to back, you're looking at, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch thick manual here. That's definitely going to go in my pit bag of the 4PK or 4PX. This thing is just huge. This is going to be lots of reading time, maybe at work or lunchtime, things like that. So getting to know my new radio. So pretty cool. Right here, I think all of the radio guys have gotten together and say, hey, look, when we make boxes, let's let the steering wheel peek out and just intimidate the person opening it. And every box I've opened, at least, have had that. So removing the top here, we're seeing definitely the radio immediately. So before we get to the radio, let's look at all the boring stuff first. Looks like this is going to be the little drop-down bezel that goes to allow your wheel to drop down to the preferred position that you may be accustomed to. I definitely like the drop-down feature. Just gives you a little bit better ergonomics on your radio. So set that aside. Lots of other little pieces in here, and this is like a little mini screwdriver right here for maybe getting into those tight areas. Looks like you can kind of clamp it onto something, so we may have to read about that later on down the line. Gives you a whole bunch of screws and Allen wrenches, a couple little dials here, and then it looks like another trigger switch as well. So pretty fancy that they're including all that. Let's see here. I saw something else hiding in this box. This looks like this is going to be a cover if you change from right to left, I believe. I'm going to have to read more about that, but that's my best educated guess from here. It does come with a receiver, and here's the model really quick. I'm going to bring this up close so you guys can see it. And it's R30454SB. Wow, I need a new eye test. So it is a telemetry receiver, so it's the FHSS receiver, S-Bus 2 compatible. So looks to be a very small-ish receiver. So about a 1 inch, a little over an inch this way, and very short footprint. So a little about a quarter of an inch right there, and you're looking about, I don't know, about a half inch right there. So just some guesstimates. Longish receiver antenna, so we're looking at about 6 inches, with the most important part being that kind of clearish part right there in the end. So enough of the receiver. Let's look at this radio. I think I got everything out of the box that it came with. Wow, this thing is cool. So the first look right here, and this thing is pretty damn cool. Having a hard time focusing because of all the glaring objects. And I'm going to have to go ahead and remove this little piece here to allow us to see a little bit better. This is going to come off soon enough, but that's the best part of any electronic purchase. Removing that little clear sheet there. But God, that screen is just huge on there. I can't wait to boot this thing up. So immediately you're seeing this kind of little toggle button here, and I was really interested to see, how this thing stacks up. Very rubber feel and really nice in the hand here, the thumb. So that's going to be kind of like your toggle or your mouse, so to speak, of your radio. Nice wheel, very nice feel to it. Doesn't feel cheap at all, which it shouldn't for this price point. I can't wait to kind of drop this thing down, so get a little bit better positioning according to my trigger position. So the handle doesn't come with any additional handles, but this handle is quite substantial. Just the feel of it, it feels great in my hand at least, and has kind of a nice backing right here of that rubber, somewhat cushy, so definitely a very nice radio. Has a kind of a steel point right there, or for a lanyard, or if you happen to use one of those things. I don't, but I may add on a nice little Proline one that I have laying here in the shop. So I'm going to go ahead and get some batteries in this thing. I'll be right back so we can take a look at this thing all fired up. All right, I'm back now, and I went ahead and got 4 AA batteries installed in the bottom of the 4PX, and I already powered it on and kind of messed around with it a little bit, and this thing is damn cool. It's really cool having, of course, a new toy in the shop here, but just having something that there's so much technology in. here in the radio controlled community. So, I went ahead and powered it on. I was messing around. So when I go ahead and power it on for you guys, it not only, lights up pretty cool, but it also makes some sounds and whatnot. Hopefully you guys can hear this. But you power it on right there at the, has like a little, wake up sound or kind of alarm sound. And it's just the brightness of the display and all of the blue lighting is just really, really cool. Just kind of a little take around of the screen there, and it kind of like auto dims. I'm gonna have to see if that is just a power saver feature. I'm sure it is, but went ahead and clicked it back on for you guys there so you can kind of see all of this stuff. So lots and lots of information on there. Pretty cool that it has kind of like the steering and the throttle right there on the front of the remote or on the screen. But going on to some of the features and buttons and everything, of course, it's a 4-channel receiver, so there's all different programmability for all the different trims, the buttons. There's all sorts of things kind of hidden all around on this remote once you start learning where all of the items are. So there's all sorts of little toggle switches, trim settings. There's all sorts of adjustability of the throttle position. The wheel, of course, can drop down, go to the other side. You have a dial kind of up here on the very front, which is all programmable. They're all kind of generically named, so once you know what it is, you can kind of go from there. The other thing I found was kind of cool was when I was putting the batteries in, this is kind of like a push button right here. So that can also be another push button item that you can add on later on down the line. So like I said, you can attach like on a lanyard right here. It's kind of like an anchor point made of, it looks like steel, very, very heavy piece right there. A headphone jack right here, so you can attach headphones, not to listen to music or anything, but to hear the telemetry settings or things like that. So looks like you have a couple little rubber boots right here that can come off for other accesses. The antenna is a little bit strange. It has like kind of a flip up feature, which not too happy about it, but I'm sure it'll function properly. Probably will function just as fine like that, being a 2.4 gigahertz. Right there, it does expose the micro SD slot. It doesn't come with a card, but you're able to install that in. And I just saw another button underneath here. So there's just buttons all over this thing. So I'm gonna have to do lots of reading here and see exactly what this thing can do. So, but pretty cool. I can't wait to use it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video showing it off and showing how it fires up and what you get inside the box. So until then, that's it for now. Check out my Facebook page. I have lots of information, including lots of detailed photos of this radio and all of the other projects going on here at the RC Network. So check that out. But until then, comments, questions on down below, thumbs up, and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.